Testing this area, some of which are the most notable: Bad Sniper, Noah Riley, Acorn, Edgy, Babs, and Snacky just to the south.
That's such a stacked stage. You might as well call that the Legends Landing, let me tell you. But see Snacky over on the side, you're talking about Bad Sniper as well, but one of our hottest drops with each biggest names.
That's the respect, but let's get to the real battle. Cloudy Condo, Tayson, Chapix taking on this big duo toe-to-toe. MrSavage and Bugha, who have a 78% win ratio when contested. The odds are not looking good. The third party in the distance, Aqua's up on high ground. They're positioning for the fight.
Yeah, Breeze on A and Aqua, they have that high ground. Just put damage onto two different players. They're like eating at a buffet right now when it comes to Storm Surge, but in the feed, MrSavage is down on one in Bugha from NA West. They're trying to take control of that POI, but all three teams are here. But you got to keep notice, while all the action is going down between Bugha and MrSavage, you see Aqua and Resumen just trying to keep their distance. You can see the strategy coming out from On1 and Bugha. They switched up their drop spots this weekend. It's not like they've been practicing there all season long. They're just adapting on the fly. As you see Bugha, Mira, we already talked about that uncontested drop spot.
One of the most explosive duos. We talked about Ed's history, how much he's really risen to the challenge, improving season after season. Now paired up with King, they have such a fun history here. They have engaged against one another multiple.
Surge to kind of handle it with Fabs and Snacky. FNCS champions from NA West hurting on Storm Surge right now, trying to get themselves back up. But it does look like the fight, maybe the dust have settled, and this is the aftermath. As you see, yeah, Fabs does have one elimination, 36 above the damage hold. Even though right now they have a little bit of comfortability, threat is still looming in the back of their minds.
That's right, and they rolled up. They took down a team there, and now they get to go ahead and read the... There's no easy one. Now we have EU versus NA West. Noah Riley, Bad Sniper, Epic Whale, and Reed on the other side of the wall.
This one is going to get close because Reed, I already talked about, he loves to fight.
And down comes the Chug Heal. They're just going to run and sit there, try to get as health as possible. Meanwhile, in the distance, Threats and Alice are starting to put shots in. So this is not a fight that's not, being interfered with. Reed's going to fall first. Epic Whale's by himself. Shots come in. Noah Riley wastes no time. They pounce in, and they're hunting now. Reed's on the run. Shots from the side. Who will steal away this elimination here? It is. They close things up. Drop a huge shot. Clix finds a one. They're on to Intellect in the finish. Two. Clix and Duke managed to get two more eliminations. Oh my gosh.
Hey, you got to give him credit though. He said it himself. He has that World Cup experience. Something, but the options are so thin. He doesn't know what to do. Finally finding one player. Puts the shot on. Storm still going wild. He's below, but that Siphon coming through just in the nick of time to keep him alive.
He is alive. He takes down the run, steps into the zone, and look at this. A huge pickup now. That's going to buy him more time. That could be the absolute difference. Meanwhile, Seti and Cammy playing their game. The front side of zone, there's not a player in sight. Clix is still alive now, working his way through. He has lost his teammate. The full finish comes through. It might be all or nothing now. He still has so much left in the tank.
Yeah, just trying to reinforce a little bit of the builds that are around him so nobody can quickly edit through and try to pick that shot from Miram and Sagu. They don't have that high ground, but they have that mid layer trying to find that comfortability. Brino, only 2 HP, no med miss left. He's gonna have to try to find a Siphon here, but no, he gets dropped. Acorn finds another one from the outside of zone.
7 elims for Mareem and Zagu, representing for Asia here, looking great. Meanwhile, Yumi and Cool are getting one step closer now to taking this fight. A huge shot out to Mareem. He's gonna feel that one as he plays defensively, but Zagu is here to back him up. They're going hand in hand. The fight breaks out. They clap back. Down.
Oh my gosh!
Cool steps up to the plate. We are now down to 3 duos in the end game, 2 solos and a duo up top.
Carrying that momentum from last season's FNCS, but he has so much more work to do. Seti and Cammy, the only duo left in the game is Acorn staying alive. Still 4 eliminations on the back of Cool, trying to find his way through. But like I said, there's only one duo team, and they have the high ground and the recipe for success.
You cannot write a better story for becoming legends. Seti is fighting back. Cammy is fighting back. They're looking to get inside. There goes the elim they were looking for. Just one player separates them, but Acorn will not survive. And Seti and Cammy take game number 1. Quickly, it's so close to the drop spawn, you can see already things kick off. This time, iDrop says, you know what? Let's put that weight, in my experience, on my back. SUSCRÍBETE takes down Bugha, and all of a sudden, it's a different tale to be told.
Happy birthday, MrSavage. First elimination here in game number 2. And that puts On1 on notice. Solo points after solo points. But as long as these two guys are live, they're going to be contenders for every single tournament they play in. Duke has FNCS champion in trios. Clix is one of the best individual players on the planet.
We have a huge opportunity here for Duke and Clix to continue to put up big numbers.
We saw how much damage it does to these builds, and it eats through in a second.
More importantly, if you can find the tags, just
big.
like that, Pink and enough already turning this story on its head here. That's bait there. He sees the shot.
This prolonged fight, and what happens if they do actually split right now? They're not going to have a lot of time to go ahead and mat up, but a big shot coming out from Clix. Back to the lobby, but third place, NA West, Cool Yumi getting busy already. Elimination on the Wax. Now it's up to Rob Bob. Hero in the wrong position, you're going to be a 0.
Now, Robot doesn't have a lot of experience here. They've only made 2 finals together between Walk.
Travel to zone, but back on board. Falconer and Hell as well. He's trying to stop as much of the heals from going through, but it does look like Helfire is going to get 200 yet again.
Listen, Ed, please sign the team Liquid, showing you guys what it's an even exchange.
Yep. Right now, the 2 launch pads on the Helfire. He can abandon this fight at a moment's notice.
Here it
but
is.
Ed with no HP, it's all or nothing.
Here it
This
is.
is the moment you've been waiting for.
Here it
Shots
is.
coming through, and Ed 1v2s NA East.
Brazil and Argentina. Swag right now puts him in a nice position. They found a player out in the distance. Snacky and Fabs have a window open there, focusing on the duo as well.
That one off spawn, trying to have a much better performance. MrSavage and Eyedropper under siege, under pressure. MrSavage is going to get dropped for now, trying to pass on the resources to Eyedrop because he knows he's going to have to deal with a lot.
Ray on his back here. Eyedrop has to step up. Savage is down. Can he do it? He's been in so many. Marine might actually allow him to get the pickup. Whoa, that is a huge mistake there.
Yeah, a huge mistake, and honestly, these are one of those things that resources as well. This is a perfect spot to land at for Eyedrop and MrSavage. That way, the Cammy and Seti still holding on to first place by 7 to Asia's Marim and Zagu. 151 above. The NA West, 3-time champions, Fabs and Snacky.
There it is, the full finish is gonna start to come through. The first elim for Bugha and Miro.
This is where I'm looking at the minimap right now, seeing where it's actually going to go. There's different elevations. I think whoever is able to grab a side of that mountain first.
3 elims, what a way to do it so far. Meanwhile, Queasy and Vino are still on hype. This is one of the toughest end zones as well. Flutter Barn has so much varying terrain.
Going down, they're trying to get another elimination, but Bugha and Miro, huge shots gonna be fired, but Miro's getting tagged back up. He needs that siphon to go through, but it's still not gonna be enough. PH then does go down. Bugha trying to be that IGL. He's trying to lead him to greener pastures, but he's running out of resources. Backwood falls.
EU once again, but we'll see if NA can step up to the damage. Let's see it. Head is gonna be punished and now hunted down. Meanwhile, we jump over. Sensen and Cole still alive here. This is where they do best. Like we said before, it's bread and butter. They know how to stick it to hip. They have to now. Cole is hurt.
Multiple top placings out of this duo. Not wanting to fall short here today, but Cammy and Seti from high ground to low ground. Another end game is going to be achieved. 2v2, Scented and Cold versus Vortexers and Hen. This is going to come down to the Wire Monster, and this is going to come down to Scented and Cold when and where they drop down low.
Once again, we are looking at an NA versus EU finish. Cold is going to get big tag there by Vortex on the low ground. 7 elims, no builds. It's
Definitely in their hands. They just have to close it out. EU versus NA East. This one is just a prolonged long game, but the damage is in from Cold.
And this is what we talked about. That wall, there's nothing you can do. It's all or nothing. Down goes Cole. Senses hurt too, but they have the angle. They're going to wait this one out just for a little bit and allow the zone to do the rest. Cole finds the one and Senses finds the other. NA takes game number 2.
You look at that. The passion, the emotion.
This battle here, a battle of who can get the best drop, and what a great way to kick things off. Such a powerful loadout to really start things here.
Yeah, and it does look like Bugha and On1 making yet another adjustment. They win the off-spawn fight in game 1. They lose it in game 2, and this time around, they're not even contesting for a fight, but blink and you might have missed it. A first elimination is gonna be on to Looter.
And this might just end, but no, Bugha steps up, but Savage is so quick.
and try to see what they can get, and they get 149 damage, disappearing off the back of On1. Another shot's gonna be fired. Hey, Rob goes down. It's a 1v1. MrSavage versus On1.
Savage wants none of it. He wants none of it. He finishes it up.
Nice one.
Huge tag onto Chapix here. Nicely done. He's gonna open things up, allow him to get some more territory, and closer he walks. But Tayson fights back. The 4X FNCS champion is all of a sudden now with his back against the wall here. But no, he's hurt. Malabuka says, forget that. It takes him down. And now it's up to MrSavage, and no, he finishes it off too. And Chapix is left running, trapped now, inside the box. Oxygen starting to run out. He fights back, but for how much longer? Chapix does so much damage, he loses the wall, and no more shield now, and it's all over. Chapix and Tayson fall.
Duo, it's gonna leave Cool by himself yet again, but how many 1v2s can you take?
This is Peterbot though, put some respect on his name, and he makes it look easy. It's just like that, Jamper and Peterbot.
Prime example as to how to finish a fight quickly, right? We know PH and Ketos are fighting in the middle of the map. They need to finish this fight quickly, and look at that. Pinching from both angles, getting that Storm Surge done early, as well as bolstering their loot.
On the right, 3 directly on the left.
Oh, no.
1 is behind them, and it's hot on their heels. That's Noah Riley, that's Bad Sniper. Huge shot by Cammy, box to box. He's knocking on the door. He wants to finish this one off. Inside of Storm, nobody really having HP to kind of regenerate, and Cammy and Seti go down.
And Bad Sniper gets to represent for France. They're taking down.
Season saying Edgy can do it on NAEs, try to be the 2 region champion. What would you call that here? Would he be the 7 region champion, 8 region champion if he wins this?
I mean, at this point, he's looking to break that second place curse too. He wants to make sure he gets one for Queasy, and Vino caught lacking. Another endgame for Ketos and PHN. They have 4 elims representing for Brazil right now, and they are almost inching their way to the top 10 right now, but Cold and Scented are right in front of them. This is where they do the most work. This is where they play best.
2 men miss. He's just trying to go ahead and stagger himself out, and he found an elimination on the Jew. More HP for him, and look at the resources he found.
And it's huge right now. He's managing to fight his way through. He finds another one there in the zone. A huge tag is going to keep him alive right now, and look at him start to sprint here. But no, he's hunted down and taken out back by Thomas HD.
He's trying to stagger himself towards the backside of zone, running out of ticks onto that Menmith.
Oh.
A huge shot's going to be fired. Thomas HD is trying to stay alive, but he goes down. Zap round.
Oh, no.
He wasn't able to get the revive off. This is going to be huge. He's the only solo left in the world of duos.
Oh no, but he knows that's enemy build. He goes up, the side jump. He has enough. He takes high ground, but no. Zeddy's here to back him up. He goes for the falling shot, doesn't quite find it. Chimp and Scram, Healed is going down, and they are having an opportunity here, but no. Chimp does not take advantage. He is now by himself. He has lost his teammate. He's looking for it. Zagu jumps to the ultimate low. Chimp's trying to time his exit, and he gets caught out.
Just a sliver of HP, a little bit of shield, and it's not going to be enough. Joe and Zeddy take game number 3.
EU claps back once again. I believe it's you, Commandment. You guys can have it, but it's Savage and iDrop who get all the loot.
Yeah, and that's huge for the loot for Savage and iDrop, because now they can kind of pick and choose. You see, he still has some bandages there, so he's trying to look for something else to maybe trade it off.
How are they so far ahead of the Surge? Well, there you go.
Duke, another highly skilled team, 353 above the damage threshold. They already have an elimination. For them, it's just making it to the end game itself.
And it's crazy to show the disparity, the point difference between Agu's still alive. Is he somehow snaking his way around the game? We're gonna have to find out. Scented and Cold, often in an end game. That consistency paying off right now, as we know it should. Scented and Cold, mid-ground. PHC and Ketos are there as well. This is one of the most dangerous layers that we have seen, and it's players who are fighting to get that #1 spot.
Oh, but Scented, he was able to take down Thor, but he needs that Siphon to come through, and it goes in just in the nick of time. Trying to stay alive. Chili Chug Splash to try to go ahead and gain the speed to get to the outside of zone. Somehow it knocks us down. You got to thank Commandment and Avery for that one. So now Pink is left as a solo. What can he do with only 3 builds to his name?
And they take high ground again in this game here. 4 elims now. Things are really starting to get interesting for NAEs. Avery says, come down. Let's go to the low ground and wait for him to start taking the lead here. Now, usually we call Commandment the Mr. Clutch, and Commandment says, trust in me. I have this high ground on lock. Meet me at the top.
Yep, for one of the most insane end game finishes for the FNCS Chapter 3 Season 3 Championship. They're looking to do it here again in this game as Malabugha's by himself. He ends up into the box, takes another player out, a huge siphon and refresh to come through. Just
Perspective, he's on that low with 7 elims. He has not stopped picking up. Malabugha continues to fight though. Ustree's is gonna fall there, and a quick elim, someone's behind him.
Duke Clix take advantage in the blink of an eye. Another end game. They're trying to move up to the top leaderboards as Thomas HD goes down. Trippin feeling the pressure as a solo here, changing elevation. That was a huge play because look how many teams are stuck down low towards the low ground, but now he has to meet him down there as Commandment Avery begin to put on the pressure. Malabugha, 4 eliminations as a solo, 6 as a team. The damage continues, and he's putting on a show.
He doesn't stop. Down goes Rifty. 5 elims. Can he get another? No, it's not enough. Trippin fights back. He's got it in him. And now, look at this. Behind the walls, BL and Edgy from the Storm. BL is still in this. It's Seti who's representing on this low ground. Another huge, consistent game for Seti is everything here.
I think there's 5 duos left, and about maybe 3 of them are full duos right now, and Savage loses another one. He's a solo. He's trying to take down the NA West team. He takes down Yumi. Huge siphon coming through. MrSavage does it again and gets into the top 4.
You have to love the movement here.
Oh my God!
Another one. He does not stop. Seti might just be next. Savage is on fire. Let's see it. High ground is still NA East. 1v1v2. Commandment and Avery have everything working for them as Savage is looking to do so much work. But Seti says, hold up, I could find a chance here. He needs to pick and choose this wisely. Do you go for 2 elims on the low ground or a chance at first? And down goes Savage. Seti knows better, and it's a great game for Commandment and Avery.
A huge victory royale.
That is true. And they have King and Ed, some of the regional dangerous fighters right there. We saw what Ed can do. He took out 2 of EU's finest by himself inside the Storm while being pressured. Snacky returns a huge favor onto Duke there, so down he goes as Clix managed to find a trade too. So for them, it's still a tough situation, an even worse story unfolding here as MrSavage and Malabugha are being lobby focused by Clix on the rotate now. So all around, tough spot to be in here.
Thomas got 2 on the Hen and Vortex, not just 1. You see Fabs trying to reunite with Snacky. Malabugha and MrSavage also in the distance. For them, that shield keg was absolutely needed, especially since they're only 67 above the damage threshold.
Oh, but I was just gonna say, soon we might have to turn our focus to Peppo and Runa. They find Clix right above Snacky and through. Cammy and Seti put the shield bubble on the boat, and they are gone with a clean rotate right up the river. That is just a 500 head play.
Launch pads, a push game to shove, but now Joe and Zandy found 2 more launch pads and so much room to work with as Malabugha and MrSavage game. And if you don't have a launch pad, if you don't have chrome splashes, I wish you best of luck.
Well, we do know if you do, Cold and Sent to go ahead and put the chrome splashes to the use here, to the test, and they jump right over that bush and into it.
The mountain, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a loop-de-loop come through as Rep Guard's trying to catch one off guard, but it's he who gets caught off guard by Zandy.
And just like that, he is down and out. Trippin and Thomas HD, we get to get a little temperature check with them. They are on the mid-ground, right above Sensen and Cold. Smite loses Larson on the rotate, and he is now left by himself. Just places away from 10th here. Can he hold on? Peppo does enough, but not enough to beat Vortexter. Here's Onwin and Bugha. They have made such an excellent use of surviving their drop spot. Joe finds Noah. Down he goes, and Joe's hurt. 20 HP. This is not looking good.
After zone, no matter where this roller coaster went, they stayed on top. Bugha loses Onwin, but he takes down Bash. Back up against the wall. He gets 2. Bugha gets 2. 7 eliminations for the NA West
And he
duo.
has shown you how good he is and why he deserves to be here. Even when he is counted out, he is showing up. But hold up, sent it. Cold now, back in the mix here. They already have done 1, but can they get another? But Grolls and Rifty are showing they finally have an end game, and they are making big do with it. There's a 3rd elim, 30 points already earned in this round. Bugha fights back, but Colton Scented gets to get all that sweet loot.
Yep, towards the low ground, along with Thomas HD and Tripram. This one is gonna get messy for everybody that's stuck down low. But for Fino and Queasy, they have the elevation. They have a huge advantage. Plenty of mats to work with. That's a recipe for success. But it's up to Cold and Scented and a few other teams to try to take down the high ground team.
And don't forget, Tripper and Thomas, who had a 10-point lead, is still here as well. Thomas HD wants more though. Down goes Grolls, and they are closing the gap. But he loses his teammate. He's gonna fall. Top 3 now. Scented is still in the mix here, in the conversation, but no build. Big shot comes in from up top. And all of a sudden now, it is looking so dicey. Queasy is just waiting.
Waiting for that perfect opportunity. They have the high ground. They drop down low. The game is theirs after they take down Bevy. That is game number 5, sealed up by Fino and Queasy.
Look at the focus of our players, Jacob. We have ourselves still one more game left today.
Yeah, and just take note.
Or On1 and Bugha, though, fight back here. The last time they won their drop, they turned that into a monstrous end game, and now they're clawing back in. Savage already down. I drop.
Can they do it? Bugha
in the mix here. Actually, Savage is on the run right now.
Oh, he's going to be able to get out alive, but do On1 and Bugha want to chase him? There's so many other teams in the mix as well, including Brazil's very own King and Ed, who where they're at in the leaderboard right now, they want to start getting aggressive. They want to take the game into their own hands.
Ed and King here, trying to do something big. We haven't quite seen them put up the numbers on showed yet. You can see right there, and now options in front of him. Does he go for the duo below? But no, instead he's going to go and hunt down the solo. This is by far the better play, but the reboot is starting to come out from MrSavage.
I think Ed even found Peppo somewhere, but no, they're actually chasing down MrSavage, and they're going to clean that one up. That is huge.
And King get their first 2 eliminations onto MrSavage and iDrop here in game number 6. Huge deal for him right there, and it's looking very, very grim now.
Yep, the only other NA East team in there is going to be Acorn and Edgy, who came into this game in 8th place, but in the distance. Scented sees Fabs and Snacky, sees Joe and Z Andy trying to get his Storm Surge damage up while being in the storm without any heals, but luckily enough, his escape plan, you can already see it, it is going to be that launch pad.
He's playing a very dangerous game here. He's already been tagged for wipe.
The damage threshold, gets a knock on the Rapid in the distance as well, and you see some other shots coming through. They know that that player is under pressure. Now the lobby is now taking hands to try to take him out all together. Bevies is now joining the fray along with Vortexers as well. Andalix has his back up against the wall. He's trying to survive, and Alex and Bailey are also rotating in. You can kind of see why they rotated out of Rave Cave, trying to third-party some of those fights, but they ended up getting snuck on, which probably turned their entire story around as Bugha and Miro trying to get in towards the zone. Focus of the lobby begins. Can Bugha try to survive? 43 HP and a dream. Miro's there to try to alleviate some of the pressure, and it does look like it's going to stop.
Aqua and crew will just come in third party. But look at this. Fabs finds Malabuka there. That's a huge one, and now we get to see Ed and FaZe King's perspective here. King from Argentina, Ed from Brazil. Right here, right now, 2 elims already potentially going head-to-head against On1 and Bugha. The young duos from NA West. No, the peak, the punishment. Down goes Bugha.
Trying to put NA West on his back along with Yumi and Cool, Fabs and Snacky. So many top competitors in this tournament still, and this is only day number 1.
Down to Video, 120 below, make it 60 now. They do need a little bit more damage. It's gonna continue to fluctuate. Vigo finds Bugha, down goes On1 as well. Vigo just cleans that up. Meanwhile, Kanata and Macwood.
As Video does get knocked in that moment, that's Taze and that's Chapix that are hot on the heels. But pressure is coming from all sides for a lot of these teams. And even Macwood and Kanata are trying to put some shots on to Tayson and Chapix. You see Janus trying to break through. He is that solo that we were looking at, trying to survive. Video finally goes down.
And closing out this last game, but you can see Tripper and Thomas HD are there as well. They have that same story. They are very much close by. Here's our high ground kings. Reet, an epic whale, the 6X, and of course Reet, a multi-FNCS winner himself. Going head-to-head against Refsguard right now. They're starting to crank up, but Reet does not want to give it up, not just yet. He jumps down. This is what he does best, is take those fights, but no, plays a little smarter. He has to play for the end game.
And I saw Pink and Anas go down to Pars. He's finally starting to heat up. Tayson gets another one. Kanata as well. Refguard as a solo. Trying to take the game by storm, and they get it, Monster. They got the high ground for now.
But it's not for free. They do have a duo on their heels. Who is it? It's Refguard, who tried to fight for it, but he is not going to be successful this time around. High ground can get you one thing that we know for sure, and that's amazing placement if you can ride it out. When you're a solo like that, that was an excellent attempt. But now, back into the heat of things. Seti, Cammy, 2 Elims, another end game. And their biggest threat, Tripburn and Thomas HG is alive. Acorn and Edgy, NA East's last hope potentially in this lobby, still in the run. Acorn and Edgy making their way out the outskirts here. Look at the clean rotate here from Acorn. He is just exceptional, but we get to jump into Duke. 200 HP, now down to 72, make it less than that. It's not looking good. From 0 to hero, he's trying to claw his way into this. They find a player on the edge. No Elim there. Duke has to fight back, and down he goes. First team who is setting up for a back-to-back.
Back-to-back, that is going to leave them with all the confidence in the world to end day 1 and go into day 2. They have 10 eliminations on Fico from the low ground. He's trying to have a comeback for the ages to close out day number 1. Shots on the Triprum, a huge amount of damage. He drops him down as well, but goes down altogether. Valiant effort by Fico.
It is a worst-case scenario for Thomas HD because his biggest threat is on high ground, but Reet is fighting back. Reet takes down Queasy on height. He is turning this around and then trying to turn this into potentially a solo game. Meanwhile, Thomas finds Watts. Thomas still alive, and Reet falls there in the end. Look at Thomas holding the low ground. Chicho's right next to him. Trulix hurts him too, but Vino has the grip of height. Acorn waiting on the side. Out of builds, he's gonna have to come down too. It's all over. The gas tank is empty. Down he goes. And now, off to Seti.
It's Cammy and Seti, the only duo left, and they find another one. Vino trying to put wonders. 1v2 situation. What can he do here to take home the big prize and end with back-to-back victory royales to end the day? But a team looking to take first place back. Cammy and Seti, and they try to steal it away by getting that VR to end game 6.
And they get the first game. They get the last game of day 1. What a story for Cammy and Seti. Becoming legends must be so proud right now of these players. They put in the hard work, they put in the effort, and wait to watch it pay off.